All right, so we're going to jump right into it with the PLU football game on Saturday. We're going to take you through the scoring summary real quick and then talk about some of the details of the game. First drive for PLU was fantastic. Couldn't have gone any better. It ended with Darren Hargrove catching a 5-yard pass from John Schaub to give the Lutes a 7-0 lead. The drive was 12 plays, 78 yards in about 6 minutes and 11 seconds. So, nice way to start up the game. Then towards the very end of the first half, Cal-Lu answered. There's 40 seconds left in the first half. Aaron Eddington caught a 16-yard pass from Adam Friedrichsen. So, score was tied going into halftime. Drive 10 plays, 81 yards, 3 minutes and 41 seconds. So they got down the field quickly and scored. Cal-Lu got the ball coming out of the half, correct?
They did.
So they opened up. They came back with a scoring drive, another quick one. Wendell O'Brien caught a 32-yard pass from Friedrichsen. Drive was 8 plays, 78 yards in 2 minutes and 52 seconds. All right. So PLU's trailing 14-7. They finally answered when John Schaub hooked up with DJ Winter for a 15-yard touchdown pass. 6 plays, 39 yards in 1 minute and 11 seconds. So quick offense from both sides there. And then early in the fourth quarter, PLU had the ball. In 10 plays, they went 68 yards to get them into field goal range. Dallin Rodriguez hit a 29-yard field goal, proving to be the game winner.
PLU kicked a field goal?
Yeah.
That was my joke during the prep meeting. Exactly.
I was late to the prep meeting.
So PLU had the lead for the entire fourth quarter, really, and it was a battle all the way through. Lacey, what stood out to you?
It was a fun game to watch. I think the Lutes defense was an incredible
Wait, Lacey,
force.
real quick to interrupt you. I want you to tell the listeners how you got to the game.
Yeah. Everything has to stop. Lacey wins the super fan, best girlfriend, and everything else award.
Folks, this is unreal. This is not made up. This is a true story.
This is unreal.
All right, so like the men's basketball team, the women's basketball team actually headed on a hike early Saturday morning. We made sure to leave campus at 7:30 so that we could be back on campus for the kickoff of the game. But not expected, well, I guess we should have expected the fair traffic. So we get off the freeway and we are sitting in traffic. And I was carpooling with one of my teammates, luckily, so I wasn't driving. So I was sitting there and I was getting updates from my mom, who was actually watching the game online. And she was like, Lutz touchdown, John to Darren. And I was just itching in my seat as we were sitting in traffic. So I was like, I can't take this anymore. Got out of the car. I was in my flip-flops, and I started running to the game.
That is awesome.
To the stadium. We were probably, I'm going to say we were over a mile away, at least a mile away. So I ran to the game. It was hot out. I got there. I was sweating, but I was happy to be there for the second quarter.
All right. So what stood out to you? What was important?
So like I was saying, Lute defense was incredible for us against Cal-Lu. They struggled to handle it, and the biggest momentum shift of the game, in my opinion, was the interception by senior captain Derek Chase. The pick happened about midway through the third quarter, and Chase was being dragged down by the nearest Cal-Lu receiver, and Tabby Yu happened to be there. So in a reaction moment, Derek pitched the ball to Tabby, and Tabby then ran for a 31-yard gain. Later that day, Tabby was talking about how it kind of seemed to happen in slow motion, and it's not something the guys have really practiced before, so it was more of just an instinct and a reaction to the circumstances. And because of that, the offense was able to capitalize in the third quarter, with John Schaub finding DJ Winter in the end zone to tie the game 14-14.
That was a very big moment, crucial moment for PLU. Kellen, what stood out to you?
Yeah, Christian, obviously I play offense, and so I don't really get to watch too much of the defensive side of the ball. But the last drive I did get to watch, and as well as the drive right before halftime where they did score. So I'll be honest, my sphincter was a little bit tight there at the end of the game, knowing what they had done, right before the first half there. And so they had the ball on the 35-yard line. It was about 4th and 16, and knowing, again, in my opinion, we have some of the best DBs in the Northwest Conference, the best DBs we've had at PLU in a long, long time. And Travis McMillian, our junior safety, just a stud, has had such an amazing career so far. Came into PLU as a quarterback. And it was funny, when we go to breakaway, we do this thing called the basketball free throw challenge. And what it is you pick one guy from each team, and everyone is just literally crowding around them, just screaming at the top of their lungs to try to distract them. McMillian sinks the free throw, and right then and there, my dad and basically everybody on the team knew that this guy gets it. This guy has just ice in his veins. He doesn't really get distracted very easily. So that's why we moved him to quarterback, because originally he was going to play defense, but we needed somebody to be a great athlete, and now he's translated to play defense as a safety. Last year he had 15 tackles against KALU. This game he had 11 tackles. Basically made the play of the game to knock it out of the receiver's hands there in the end zone. So Travis McMillian was a big-time player in that game. And the defense, again, we always talk about it for the PLU defense. Bend but don't break. You can give up yards, just don't give up points. And that's what they did there on that final drive, Christian.
So let's talk a little bit about, there was so much talk around campus and around pretty much anyone paying attention to PLU football, the two quarterback situation that was going on. Cole Chandler played nearly the entire second quarter. His numbers weren't great. Chandler went 1 for 4 passing for 2 yards. Cole didn't run the ball well either. He had 6 rushing attempts for 6 yards. His longest run was 9 yards. From that, you'd have to assume he went backwards a couple times. To me, it looked like Cole had really kind of fallen in love with the idea that he's the guy that runs the ball. He wasn't really committed to throwing the ball when it came his time. Would everyone agree or disagree with that? Drew, what do you think?
I mean, the two quarterback situation, first off, it didn't work. I hate to say it, it didn't work. I agree in the fact that I think Cole Chandler can throw the ball. He's proven that. Mm-hmm. In seasons previous, he's proven the fact that he can throw the ball. But what happened this time around is I disagree with the fact that he can't throw the ball any longer because he's no longer working on eyes up and working the field. He's so focused on his O-line and what's going on around him that he's not trusting the O-line, keeping his eyes up to deliver balls down the field. He's trying to see what's happening in front of him, and when that happens, all you can do is run, because if you look up and take that, if you look up, you're done. You're going to get hit at that point. Right. So if you're watching the O-line, you have to run. So I feel like it's not going to work, especially once you make a two-dimensional quarterback one-dimensional. If you're going to make John throw, you're telling Cole you're in there to run. So I don't think that. That's why I don't think a two-quarterback situation works at all. Yeah. Even Texas figured out it's not working. Yeah,
Kellen, what do you think? I mean, obviously you're on the team. You're going to have both of their back, but was Cole looking to run the ball too much?
Yeah, I mean, we knew going into the game, Cole had deserved a chance to kind of compete with John for the starting quarterback position. So we knew going into the game that they both were going to play. Mm-hmm. And no question about it. During the game, Cole definitely missed some throws. Had two really low ones to me that were frustrating because I felt like if they would have been put in place, we would have had a couple big gains there. But Cole will be the first one to say, hey, that was my fault. I need to be better than that. Mm-hmm. I know he only rushed for 9 yards, but he did have some good quarterback runs. A lot of those, I think he got sacked 3 or 4 times, so he lost a lot of those yards. Right. He did run the ball pretty well. What it looks like coming into upcoming games here is he's going to be put in red zone situations. Now, again, it's not like he's going to go in and we're absolutely going to run the zone read. He's also going to throw the football, in the red zone.
As he should. Yes. I feel like he's capable.
Right,
Lacey? Right,
yeah. No,
go ahead, Lacey.
Yeah, I was just going to say he's definitely capable of leading. I mean, we saw last season in his freshman season when John was out with the knee injury, he led the Lutes to victory against George Fox, and in that game he almost had perfect completion percentage with going 12 for 13, throwing 164 yards, and he also added 9 rushing attempts for 39 yards total. So he is a threat on offense. I think it might have just been first game of the season jitters, and I also have to say with the two quarterback situation, it's hard for the quarterbacks to get in rhythm when you're switching up like that. Mm-hmm. But having said that, I don't know if John, coming off of his knee injury, would be able to handle playing in a full contact, game.
Yeah, there's that element too, for sure. So it'll be interesting moving forward. Cole should certainly be confident in his abilities and just let it rip, in my humble opinion. Kellen, you talked a little bit about the defense earlier. Coach Westring was banking on a group effort from his defense, and that's what he got. We have McMillian. We had talked about Travis already. He had 8 tackles. Casey Ruther had 7. Cooper Murphy had 4. Maurice Rodriguez, Court Skoda, and Wyatt Shelley had 3 tackles, and then 6 different PLU defenders had 2 tackles. That's as group effort as it gets. Mm-hmm. It's
flying to the football, Christian. I mean, you hit it right there in the head. And it's fun, again, offensively, when defense is on the field, we're down looking at plays, we're looking at the board, so we don't get to watch a lot of the game when it comes to defensive side of the ball. But I watched the huddle film Saturday night, and it was unbelievable to see them fly. Definitely a different defense than KALU. KALU is more kind of individual, worrying about themselves and worrying about their own positions, where the Lutes, again, flying to the football, like you said, 6 guys had a pair of tackles on that day. So, like you said, a group defensive effort there, and that's why we won the football game.
Absolutely. So let's go around the room here. I want to ask everyone, for someone who they consider their hero for the game. Lacey, who's your hero?
Well, I got to say, total team effort on both sides of the ball, but I have to give my biased opinion and go with quarterback John Schaub.
Hold on. Aww. All right, go ahead.
Boyfriend, QB, John Schaub. After coming off his major knee surgery less than a year ago, I think he showed great confidence and poise, which is two elements you really need coming from a quarterback. And some statistics for you. He was 13 for 25 in passing to gain a total of 146 passing yards and 2 touchdowns. He's my hero every day.
There it is. Wow, got real mushy in here, real soft. Drew, who's your hero for the day?
Derek Chase.
Right.
That interception, you can't understate the importance of Uncle Mo. Dick Vitale says it all the time.
Right.
It's Uncle Mo. Once he's in the building, it's hard to get him to leave. And once he's on one side, he's not going to switch our sides of the argument. Mm-hmm. It was absolutely insane. And for Derek to have the presence of mind to make the play he did, heads up football, flip the ball to Tabby, you turn a change of possession to a change of possession and a 31-yard gain going back the other way. I mean, that's huge. That was bigger than one of the Lutz drives. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So, and that's on the defensive side of the ball. If the defense continues to play the way it is, led by their secondary, we're going to see a great football season.
Absolutely. I feel that. Kellen, who's your hero?
You know, my hero, I definitely have a hero, but just a quick point. Our team didn't turn the ball over. So for offensively, that was huge. And again, when you turn the ball over a lot, you're not going to win football games. Kalu only turned it over once, but like Drew mentioned there, giving Chase kind of the hero of football there, we got one interception. That's what kind of won us the football game. Mm-hmm. My hero would be Dallin Rodriguez. Again, you look at the legacy of PLU football. We've never had a history of kicking field goals ever. You know, dating back basically to the 1970s. You watch the 99 game. We're on ESPN2. And a couple of the commentators there are just astounded that we didn't kick a 25-yard field goal. We ended up going for it on 4th and 3. We ended up getting it. But it just shows that, again, my grandpa, my dad, we like the points. But, again, you can look at Colin Coward who says take 3 points when you can. So there's a two-edged sword there. It was only a 29-yarder. But again, 17-14, we don't get those 3 points, we don't win the football game. So the special teams, it should never be overlooked. And in my opinion, Dallin Rodriguez was special on special teams, and it was awesome. It was clutch. You know, again, it wasn't a game-winning field goal when you look at there were 0 seconds on the clock after he made it. But again, that field goal won us the football game.
All right, for myself, I'm going to go a little bit outside the box. Cal Lu outgained PLU offense 427 yards to 276. Okay. If you just look at that, you can say, wow, Cal Lu was way better. Not quite the case. The reason that happened was because the Kingsmen had a lot longer to travel to get their points. I'm going to blame that on Anthony Louthan. That's right, I'm going with the punter. The punter, baby. Louthan kicked 7 times for a total of 282 yards, averaging 40 yards per punt. Louthan did a great job of flipping the field and making Cal Lu work twice as hard for their points. You can go read the Go Lutz article right now from the recap of that game. You can see the way Scott Westring talks about Anthony. He loves what he does, punting the football, and he knows how big of a weapon Anthony is. So Anthony's going to get my hero for the week.
And he also plays tight end, Christian.
Yeah,
so
he's working at
he's
that
our second string tight end.
Scott mentioned that as well. Yep,
a dual threat.